Welcome back to Late Night Gaming. My name is Rachel, and today we will be continuing a Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, in our last episode, we had to say goodbye to our dear friend Sayori. She committed, you know what. And our game broke. See? Look at this. It broke. It doesn't even say continue anymore. Oh, all our save files are still here. Oh. Well, that's interesting. But yeah. So, crazy stuff happened, and we are going to click this button. Who knows what it means? Oh no! Our game! It's broken! I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. Wait. I just want you guys to admire my freshly made bed. There's a cat on it. The baby. You're the only reason why I make my bed. I don't make my bed for myself. I make it so that you guys don't see how messy I am in real life. So you're welcome. I think about that every time I make it. I'm like, it's time to record. Gotta make my bed. So you're welcome. You're important to me. So therefore, I want to look organized and clean for you guys. That girl is my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let catch up to me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Okay. Was Natsuki in that mix, or was it just Monika and Yuri? That is my question. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Rachel? Oh! Monika! I saw so many different pieces of you. Monika? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you in here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monika smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Who gave her these descriptors, I wonder? Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What did you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? No, about that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah, to be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monika say she? Hey, Rachel. By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but... In that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monika? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Oh, awesome! You're really sweet, Rachel, you know that? It's nothing really. Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. And thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika in her irresistible smile. I timidly follow Monika across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Ew! I didn't like that. I'm back! And I brought a guest with me. Oh! Huh? A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Rachel. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So, let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual, and this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So I ran into Rachel in the classroom, and he decided to come check out the club. I really should have picked a different name. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that. I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Rachel? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events, like the festival, that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess so. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not true. Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Rachel, what kind of things do you like to read? Oh, well, fortunate that you would say that, because it's time for my book recommendation. Do you like sci-fi? Do you like fairy tale retellings? Well, I got the book for you. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. It's the first in a series, The Lunar Chronicles. Basically, the first book is about a cyborg Cinderella. And it's really freaking cool. It's one of my favorite series of all time. There are 4 main books, and then there are 2 extra ones. One's, like a backstory of the main villain, and then another is like bonus stories that happen throughout the series that you as the reader did not see, but you only heard about. It's pretty freaking cool. The 3rd book's my favorite, but this one is freaking... the whole series is awesome. But Cress is just my favorite out of the series, but look at this cover. Isn't it neat? Don't you think my collection's complete? I don't know. I don't remember the words of the song. But yeah, check this series out. I highly recommend it. Yuri, I don't know if you would like it. I'm putting my hair up because it's driving me crazy. I thought I could have it down for you guys, but today's just not the day. Today is not the day. I don't know. Let's see how it looks. It was kind of irritating me earlier. I never know what to do with my hair, but let me just... Everything is backwards. Like, I'm trying to see myself in the viewfinder. I don't know. If it looks terrible, I'm sorry, but... Oh no, I may end up putting it down again. Who knows? Well, have you ever read the book Cinder by Marissa Meyer, Yuri? Considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? I don't know why I always have to read this sentence in one breath. Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. Ooh, she changed it up. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, And Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? Wait, didn't Monika say, like, she was surprised that Yuri liked horror in the first act? I have to recheck that. What? Oh, what gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud! And give that back. Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. Wow, I read that really weird. That way, everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. Why am I reading this so weird? And together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Rachel? Hold on. There's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare at me with dejected eyes. But... I'm sorry, I thought... The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Rachel. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one before the festival... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting anyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Rachel? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Rachel, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. Stop. You're gonna make me blush. Stop. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Stop. Stop. Oh, thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remembers tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Rachel, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Oh! We have a special poem. Oh! Wow! Tucker! Hey! Look at this. Do you see this poem? He's actually chilling out for once. Normally he's crawling all over me. Before I even started the... What the hell? Before I even started the video, he was like crawling all over my shoulders and my head and... Are you getting tired of looking at this? Is it creepy? Are you scared? Don't be scared. I'm a little worried. I have some maybe bad news. I know all of you just love the poems that I was making for the girls. But to be honest, I'm a little burnt out on it. So I may or may not write any more poetry. I wrote 9 poems. I may write one more. One more for a certain girl. One more, because I feel like it's needed. We need to round it out to an even 10. But honestly, I just don't know what to write for them anymore. I just don't know anymore. Oh, we're gonna save. So this will be Natsuki and this will be Yuri. We're going the different routes again. So we'll do Natsuki first. So flower, Doki Doki, mouse, twirl, smile, color, kiss, chocolate, laugh, cute, loud, anger, silly, amazing, peace, promise, warm, ocean, games, puppy. Hi again, Rachel. I'm glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Oh! Thanks for keeping your promise, Rachel. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, since you can only read on a first grade level. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh! You're bringing out the Midwestern in me with all these open. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monika. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Excuse me, ma'am. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Rachel. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that, if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not like that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just feel like... Okay, for the first time, the room tilting is actually making my head kind of hurt. Well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Like Cinder, the book that I recommended. It's really good. You can pick this up. I'm just saying. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. It doesn't have any pictures in it, though. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'd like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. Is she also getting closer? Back up. I can't even see the top of your head anymore. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled, I expected Monika to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. Hold on. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monika to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Ugh! I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Fucking Monika! She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga? You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into until you figure out where the other person stands. Well, she has a whole collection, so I think she likes it. How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life. Now they're fighting behind me. My goodness. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can go do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Rachel. Consider this don't judge a book. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to come sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Why is that? I mean, I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Don't just say that. You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and again? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. A typical slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. Are you sure this isn't boring you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Sorry. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up to them without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. There is a cat running over my feet. Who is it? Oh, it's the baby. Ugh, I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you... Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Oh, wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. My dad would beat the shit out of me if he found this. At least it's safe here in the club room. I feel like I need a creepy voice for the... My dad would beat the shit out of me if he heard about that. I don't know. Except Monika's kind of a jerk about it. Oh. Ugh, I just can't win, can I? Well, it's paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So? Jeez, that's enough. What? Where are you? Shh. Shh. Be quiet, young one. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flipped the page. Time passes. Stop. No, that isn't a toy. Come here. Come here, you. Read this. Time passes. Natsuki is strangely quiet now. I glance over at her. Don't be spooked, okay? Don't get scared. Alright. Go take a nap. Got him. I glance over at her. Oh, she sleepins. It looks like she's started to fall asleep. Hey, Natsuki. Yeah? Suddenly, Natsuki collapses straight into me. Hey! Uh-oh. Oh, jeez. Natsuki, are you okay? Here. Monika reaches into her bag and pulls out some kind of protein bar. She throws it in Natsuki's direction. Natsuki's eyes suddenly light up again. She snatches the bar from the floor and immediately tears off the wrapper. I told you not to give me... She doesn't even finish her sentence before stuffing it into her mouth. Don't worry, Rachel. She's fine. It just happens every now and then. That's why I always keep a snack in my bag for her. Anyway, why don't we all share poems now? We'll go with Natsuki first, because why not? I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. Why haven't we gotten the special picture? Did I miss it? It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Okay, well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Natsuki rereads my poem. Never mind. I don't feel like giving you my opinion. Then what's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things. In fact, remember how I said I wanted to read your poems? That's what I had in mind when writing this. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours. Like Monika said. Ugh. Well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You were supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, ha, well, it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. I hope you're happy. So in other words, you're saying you liked it. Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. Oh, you're so... You don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that. You don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important. Pretty sure you never actually said that. I say that mostly to myself. Natsuki must really hate me or something. I can't figure out if it's a win or a loss that she liked my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Gah, fine, I guess. Only because Monika will make me if I don't. So hers is the same. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, and then it made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, Ghost Snot. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I show my poem to next? Let's just go to Yuri. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine, don't force yourself. I'm not. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah. Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. So it's that bad. No. Did I just raise my voice? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her voice. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine, I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right, it's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, it's not something you can be blamed for. There are many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? By the way, I am congested yet again today, so I'm sorry. So her poem is the same. I'm sorry you have such terrible wait. What? I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? I'm sorry. I don't know why that laugh got to me. I'm just... Actually, the story's... Uh, Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Rachel. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences into their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. And that's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things, too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. And then, we got Monika. Hi, Rachel. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities, or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Really now? Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? What is happening behind me? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. Oh, that's okay. She knows. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Rachel. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monika my poem. I like it, Rachel. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Oh, jeez. No. It kind of makes me think of something that Suki would write. And she's a good writer, too. So take that as a compliment. If you say so. Yep. If you're interested in Natsuki, then always keep a snack on you. She'll cling to you like a puppy. Natsuki's dad doesn't give her lunch money or leave her any food in the house, so she's in a fussy mood pretty often. But sometimes she just loses all of her strength and shuts down. Like earlier. This is just a guess, but I think she's so small because her malnutrition is interfering with her adolescent growth. But hey, some guys are into petite girls too, you know? Sorry, just trying to look at the bright side. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall, but he isn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there any others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. So actually, before I get to the argument, you can kind of see that I started reading it. I'm actually going to load Yuri's route, and we're going to go through her side of things before we get to the argument. Because, it's a little different. Get your tail out of my face, please. I don't like that. No, no. Excuse me. You're hitting me. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more today. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. I was just focused. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. Oh! I just noticed. That's so silly. But I'm just... I'm sorry. You may want to put that back on your face. It's good. Don't look at that eye. Oh, why is my game loading? Stop. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... Sorry. Also, there's a line right here that is hilarious. That's the book that you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Oh! The line's gone. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. Now her eye just looks so wonky to me, even though it's back to normal. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But that facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came out of nowhere. Honestly, I'd read it. That sounds right up my alley.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Rachel?
No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that this kind of story is the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway.
But because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. And suddenly...
I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything.
Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts,
my whole body gets unruly.
I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all.
That's true.
And in fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? That one kind of got me. Not gonna lie. that made me jolt.
Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but...
What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry. I was just bathing in the feeling of your body heat.
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean...
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own book. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready? To turn the page.
Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? You only read pictures that just have books in them, right? You like to read Dr. Seuss? Is that what I'm getting from you? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you're being so patient with me.
Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the book before me, so I turn it to by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my mind.
Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about?
Rachel? Did something happen just now?
I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
So you don't know anything?
Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her?
Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure you didn't do anything to her.
No, nothing.
Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming.
Alright, if you say so.
Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other?
Huh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri?
Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag.
I will start with Natsuki first.
I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first.
Rachel, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Harsh.
What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about?
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'll tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it.
Okay, so I think this is pretty much the same. So we'll go to Monika.
Hi, Rachel. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening.
Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Rachel. And we're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monika my poem.
Great job, Rachel. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens.
I like how the protagonist does not say anything in those moments. Like, she did it with Natsuki, and now she's doing it with Yuri, and it's definitely directed at us. Not the protagonist. Us. This game, I freaking love it. It's amazing. Suddenly, the door opens.
Yuri? I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Huh? Already? I'm sorry for being late.
No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed.
Alright. Thanks, Monika. I suppose I should go get my poem now.
Anyway, do you want to read my poem now?
Don't worry, I'm not very good.
Okay, so we already read this. So now we'll go to Yuri. Don't do anything weird. I'm watching you. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
Huh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a deep breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have?
Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable...
Sorry.
I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together.
See, my problem... I know I've skipped dialogue before, but like... So the jump scares that we've gotten so far are random chance. Like, some of them have a higher percentage, while some of them are really rare. So yeah, like some jump scare, I just looked it up, like there was a 25% chance we would have gotten a jump scare where Natsuki's eyeballs pop out. I think it only happens during the first poem that we share with her, but we didn't get it. So this game has a lot of replayability factored to it, which I really like. I will say, when I played this with my friends the first time, a long time ago, when this game first came out, 2 of them swear to God they saw Sayori hanging in this closet. They swear. I have looked up everything I could, I've could, to see if that's an actual thing. I know there's a picture here. That's a little bit of a spoiler. But, like, I know there's a picture here that pops up, and we'll probably see it, because I've seen it in every single playthrough that I've done. But here, they swear that they saw her hanging in this closet. And I have never seen anything about that. So I don't think it's a thing. I think they were just crazy. So if my best friend watches this, you're crazy. You never saw anything.
The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened.
So that's why I'm kind of apprehensive to skip stuff, because I don't know, like, when the jump scares will happen. But yeah. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though.
Biased how?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles grimly, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? So I'm just gonna kinda skip slowly toward it. Through it, I'm sorry. I guess it's everyone. A glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing skills. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monika is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As I read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language?
Did you say something?
Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy.
Thanks. Yours is cute.
Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute?
I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice.
You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all.
Well, I do have a couple suggestions.
If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monika liked it, and Rachel did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all,
excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon. Unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Rachel liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it.
Natsuki suddenly stands up.
Oh?
I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri.
That's not what I... Oh... You're just...
Yuri stands up as well.
Maybe you're just jealous that Rachel appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours.
Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself?
No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy.
Ooh. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Rachel started showing up.
Natsuki.
Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you.
That kind of got me. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really are as young as you look, Natsuki.
Me? Look who's talking, you wannabe edgy bitch.
Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Whoa, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? Oh, what the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Rachel hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Haha. Suddenly Yuri turns toward me as if she just noticed I was standing here. Rachel, she's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. Oh. We're gonna go with Yuri. Oh! Yuri. 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 Oh! Hi, Monika. Hey, Rachel. Why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay? Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. Oh. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Rachel? Please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monika. You can go first, Monika. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today. It kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Rachel. It would just be really embarrassing with you listening. I guess I really don't have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble, but I really appreciate... I'm gonna save the game right here. We will romance them for the second day. Oh yeah. Not in this episode though. Or the third day? Second time? So yeah, some of those jump scares, they still get me. Because like, well, I don't expect them. They're jump scares. Even though they're the most common ones. Yeah, I was looking at some of the jump scares we can get. There's one that you can get if you write 2 poems for Natsuki and 1 for Yuri. So that's pretty cool.
I'm gonna see something that I've never seen before later on in this playthrough, and I'm a little bit nervous about it. Because I have OBS running. I don't know why I'm so nervous for it. Oh well. So yeah, that'll be it for this episode. I think the reason why I didn't really want to write poems anymore is because we're into the nitty-gritty, and this is like the interesting stuff. I thought the poems would be fun to do to kind of change up the Act 1. Really, my biggest complaint about this game is that it is such a cool concept that I always want to like show it to friends and stuff, but anytime I get together with friends and we play this game, the beginning part just takes forever to get through. And it's definitely a game that like if you have roommates and they're not, you all have the same schedule, this is a good game to play doing that. But if you have friends and you have all differing schedules and you don't get together very often, this isn't a great game to play together, in my opinion. Because, like, I would always rush the last part to get up to Sayori's suicide. So, because I just wanted to see how people would react. But yeah. Yuri freaks me out. I will be honest. I am not her biggest fan. If you are new to this, I'm sure a lot of you that have been following this series have seen playthroughs of this. But the way that Yuri's character changes, it made me lose sleep the first time I played it. I don't know how I'll be now that I'm playing it by myself again. But, yeah, she really creeps me out. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes, because we'll definitely encounter it in the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching. This was Late Night Gaming. If you like this video and you want to see more, you can click that subscribe button. And while you're down there, you can also leave a like and a comment. Also, down in the description below are links to several of my playlists. So, there's one to my Coffee Talk playthrough, which is another visual novel that is more on the cozy, warm side. And then one to Danganronpa, which is a murder game. So if you like murder, a murder mystery, then go watch that. It's a lot of fun. Both of them are a lot of fun for different reasons. And then, now that the secret has been revealed that this is a horror game, go check out my horror games playlist. So if you just like scary games in general, you'll probably enjoy my other horror content. But until then, I hope you have a good night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.